40 minutes to assemble. I bet it takes like an hour.
Yeah.
Love you, Mom.
Oh, it's not that bad. We actually need, I don't know if I have 3 amp, but that's pretty good. Shout out to my parents. They've helped me a lot. More than anybody, obviously. So I had to get them something they could ride. So thank you, Cyrusher, for sending me this e-bike. Got 130 miles on it now. Let's check it out. There's been a fair amount of e-bike companies that have hit me up over the last year or two, maybe 10, you know, at least. And I usually look at the e-bikes and not overly impressed by them, not really interested in doing it. And then when I tell them my price, they usually tell me they don't have a budget, blah, yada, yada, yada. This one, I decided to pull the trigger for several reasons, because it has zoom brakes, which I have on a lot of my scooters, so I know that they're great. Adjustable hydraulic suspensions, a great suspension that can handle my dad and my mom, who are a little bit heavier. They're a little older, obviously, older folks, 60 plus. You need something that not only can handle the weight, but that's easy step through like this. If there's a crossbar or something like this here, it makes it very, very hard for any sort of older folks to get their leg over it. Even my mom, this is about the most she can lift her foot on something like this. And obviously the more she does it, the better she'll get and gain some mobility. But I think for a lot of people, a foot up like this is high. This is higher than most steps that you'll ever step on, right? And so it is a bit hard to get up on it if you're not used to bikes. If you haven't biked in 30 years like my mom hasn't biked in a long time. There's no shame in it. She's been busy, but now she gets back on the bike, and obviously you got to get used to it. And one of those things obviously is getting your foot on and over it, and then when you stop, getting back off it, right? Same reverse maneuvers. Definitely something to consider for you older folks is the step through. I'll measure this height from here to here for you in the garage right now, so that we can have like an idea of how high you have to be able to step.
In top gear, you can easily reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour on this, with or without pedaling. The braking is smooth and responsive, and the traction both on and off-road is exceptionally good with these tires. They're 4 inches wide, fat tires. Great traction with both 1 and 2 hands. You feel very safe on this.
I do think this is a great bike. Tested 3 bikes now. It's the 3rd one. It's the best one yet that I've tested for sure, especially for the price. At only $1,800 bucks, $1,900 bucks, whatever. It seems like a great deal. E-bikes in general seem to be overpriced or have a premium, so to say, compared to electric scooters, especially when you compare something in this price range. $1,900 here gets you 30 miles an hour. $1,900 on a similar scooter will get you 45, 50 miles an hour. There is a bit more to scooters, the bang to your buck, compared to an e-bike even still. Keep that in mind when you are comparing the two types of vehicles. But it doesn't mean the e-bike sucks. I think it's not quite as good as a scooter, but it's still awesome. I think that's something that people need to realize, especially in the scooter community, even if you haven't tried e-bikes. Just because it's not a scooter doesn't mean it's not awesome too. And it is super fun to ride. It is a lot more relaxed, obviously not so much adrenaline based like an electric scooter is. Bike is about cruising, it's about bringing along your cargo, it's about having dual suspension, super comfortable ride, and it's about being able to use this thing for camping and all sorts of stuff like that. I think this is more of a utility vehicle, right? Versus a scooter is for the streets of your town, right? Like it's not the same thing. This is something you can take out and do a lot more stuff, I think. Yeah, they do cost a bit more, but e-bikes do, but you get a lot of different usage out of them than compared to scooters. So yeah, I'm through and through. I'm a scooter guy, trust me, guys. I'm not like selling out to start promoting e-bikes or anything like that. The main reason I got this bike is for my parents, to give it to my parents, which I already did. And about 2 weeks ago or so, I think I gave it to them. We're now at around 140 miles, 135 miles. It's holding up great. I put about half those miles on, they put about the other half. I think in general, this is everything you need from an e-bike. Like I said, I've had a lot of brands hit me up about e-bikes in the past couple years. Usually I say no. Usually I don't even respond, to be honest, because I don't really enjoy riding bikes that much. But I think for something like this, for me, there was a purpose. Very light physical activity, to the point where it's barely physical activity, but it's enough getting out of the house for older folks. I think that maybe they don't work out like they used to when they were younger, right? And there's no shame in admitting that. All right, let's be honest. There's no shame in even myself. I'm only 33, right? But the older I get, the less I work out. There's just sort of that trend to it, and right? And obviously when you get up to your 50s, 60s, 70s, there's a huge benefit if you can get outside and do stuff still. Not only to your physical health, but to your mental health. And so that's really the only reason I even got this bike, I'll be honest with you guys, is for my parents to ride it and enjoy it. I think it will help them both physically and mentally. And for the same reason, I think that a lot of you guys should get your parents e-bikes when they get a bit older, or even when they're younger. But especially when they're older, I think it is a very good tool to get people out. And my mom picked it up pretty quick. After about, say, 30 minutes with me and a little practice about it on her own, she was back on it. You know what the saying about riding a bike is, right? You never forget how to ride a bike. It's so fun that it barely feels like it, right? You're cruising along, the wind's in your hair. You're not sweating, right? Because you're not breathing hard, right? It's not aerobic, but you're balancing, you're in tune with everything around you. You're hearing everything in nature, breathing the fresh air, you're breathing the flowers, right? You're enjoying your music however you set it up. It's a very zen activity, I think, compared to a lot of other sort of light workouts. So for all you older folks looking for something like this, or maybe younger folks, your parents want something to ride, check this bike out. It's pretty fun. Definitely stacks up to my expectations of what a bike should be, like with hydraulics and full suspension and all that. It has everything that checked the boxes for me, to the point where I decided, okay, let's do this one and I'll give it to my parents. I think there's a lot of bikes out there that lack certain features, but to me, those are necessities. Hydraulic brakes simplifies your brake wear and your brake maintenance, and full suspension. Who doesn't want full suspension? For me, I think those are the two general things that most people should look for in both scooters and in electric bicycles, right? Is both full suspension, hydraulic brakes, and if you can, hydraulic suspension. I'll throw up a couple opinions here. My dad thinks
the Cyrusher e-mountain bike is a well-designed, smooth-riding fitness bike for those who want to take biking to the next level. Engaging the motorized pedal assist allows me to ride longer, enjoy riding more, and improve my strength and flexibility at the age of 63. The Cyrusher is designed and engineered with top-of-the-line components, which translates into a riding experience of complete confidence in bike lanes, sidewalks, and bike paths. The Cyrusher is designed for agility to handle the off-road trails, but also easily handles city streets and shortcuts. I've been highly impressed by the technology bundled into an easy-to-use e-bike, and would recommend this to anyone who wants to experience the future of biking.
my mom thinks
I haven't been on a bike in years, and this bike has made this so much easier. The suspension is great for a smooth ride even over bumps. There is great power for uphill climbs. I have really enjoyed getting back into cycling.